baby, 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 baby. I see you every night, you and your man fight. You give him everything, but he don't treat you right. Sometimes you're left at home, feeling all alone. He's with his boys all night, trying to get his game tight. Hey baby, baby, your man is shady, shady. Hey baby, baby, he's not the one for you. Hey baby, baby, please be my lady, lady. Hey baby, baby, 'cause I'm the one for you. You're the one I give my heart to. You're the one who gives it back to. 'Cause we both know that he's not the one for you. When he makes love to you, he doesn't do it right. He never takes the time to make you satisfied. But when I'm with you, you take it nice and slow. Turn the lights down low. Make sure that you know that I want you. I need to be the only one who takes good care of you. Hey baby, baby, your man is shady, shady. Hey baby, baby, he's not the one for you. No. Hey baby, baby, please won't you be my lady, lady. Hey baby, baby, I'm the one for you. You're the one I give my heart to. You're the one who gives it back to. We both know that he's not the one for you. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. He's not the one. He's not the one. Can't you see him right here, baby?
Strumming my pain with his fingers, singing my life with his words, killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song, telling my whole life with his words, killing me softly with his song.
Yo, this is L Young.
And this is Naya, representing for the L Boogie. Let's go. I heard he sang a good song. I heard he had a style. And then I came to see him and listen for a while. And there he was, this young boy, a stranger to my eyes, strumming my pain with his fingers.
One time.
Singing my life with his words.
Two times.
Killing me softly with his song. Killing me softly with his song. Telling my whole life with his words. Killing me softly with his song.
Take him to the bridge.
Whoa, whoa, like heaven to touch. I wanna hold you so much, and long last love has arrived. And I thank God I'm alive. You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I need you, baby. If it's quite alright, I need you, baby, to warm the lonely nights. I love you, baby. Trust in me when I say okay. Watch out, some guys are only about that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing. Watch out, look out, look out. Watch out, look out, look out. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Popcorn World. Popcorn World.
Can I make you move now? Yes, I can. So you can get this move in the back of a can. You can make it round the world when it holds in your hand. Popcorn World. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. 250 flavors gonna make you smile. I said popcorn make you smile. Ah. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. Popcorn World. It's a popcorn world. It's a popcorn world.
Hey everybody, it's Lloyd Spence, and BetOnline and I would like to wish you a happy new betting year as we continue our march to the playoffs and beyond. BetOnline remains the number one spot for all the best sports wagering action for 2022. It's a new year and new updated desktops and mobile websites to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BELIEVE, B-L-E-A-V, to get started. From football, basketball, and hockey, boxing and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for 2022. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. And tell them the Noisemaker sent you.
Welcome to Talkin NOIZ, the daily podcast that brings you up to speed and keeps you informed about real issues affecting real people. With your host, Mr. Talkin NOIZ himself, Lloyd Spence. His beautiful wife, Mrs. Noise, Kenyatta Spence. The ever-informed Brother Noise, Alan Brown. And yours cordially, Uncle Noise, Shake Anderson. Come on in and join us as we reveal and opine today's most expressing issues. Real truth while having real fun. Talkin NOIZ is in your house right now. So sit back and enjoy Talkin NOIZ.
Two, one, ready, come on.
Lord have mercy. I mean, computer just like, I don't know. This is a lot. I don't know what you're asking me to do. And I was like,
maybe I will, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't.
He was like, I don't know. I'm like, just work. Just do your job. Do your job.
Do what I bought you to do.
How's everybody doing?
As
Everybody
Mama Noise would say, I'm well.
I'm well, and how are you? What up, Dion?
Well,
I'm feeling good. Despite the challenges that I have faced this morning, the show is actually ready. We're ready to rock and roll. It's going to be a fantastic show today with a fantastic topic. This muffin I just stole over. I mean, it's just it's amazing.
Yeah.
We're in a good place.
I just had a unique discovery.
Really? We're not even
I was
5 minutes into the
watching
show.
CNN this morning and she said, we must opine. I said, what the fizzy?
You thought opine wasn't a real word?
No, I know it's a real word. I've just never heard anybody use it in conversation.
That's not true. You hear it used on this show every day.
I'm
that's
saying,
what she's saying. Outside of, time.
You
I
don't,
was
you don't,
like-
Bill and opine.
you
I
don't,
wanted to pause it and
you don't run in opine circles, so that's your problem.
Oh.
well, you're
You gotta
right.
run-
I don't have the big flex energy,
Right, you got to run in opine circles.
big humble flex
Your,
energy.
the friends that you have don't reveal or opine.
Yet, okay. Insult to my friends that are watching, but that's
No, we're not insulting anything. That's just listen. In life, we make choices.
He said, you know what, you don't run in opine circles.
And Lord, you are her best friend.
I mean,
And
you
are
know,
constantly trying to reveal.
I am trying to reveal or get her to reveal.
that you don't
But
opine.
But we normally don't opine. I only have a few friends that opine, like the one you heard do this this theme song.
Right.
Not everybody I know opines.
Well, CNN opines. So I was thoroughly shocked.
They get
and
paid. They get paid to opine.
I was so excited. I thought I should record it and play it.
Oh my goodness, something wrong with you. Like I said earlier, we have a phenomenal show. Gonna be intense. It's gonna be fun. But what's new? But before we get to that, I have 2 stories that I want to start with. Now, normally, I knew it. It was Mama Noise.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah, you called it an echo. Turn your microphone.
Well, don't give me no gun then. Just don't give me no gun.
Just wait. Damn. First of all, as of yesterday, we need to be careful about the things we say on these here podcasts.
Brothers and sisters.
Because
quote from the movie Be Cool.
Right. But I'm saying just be careful about what you say, because things can come back to bite you in the tuchus. And Tasha K, I'm looking at you. Or her real name, what is her real name? Latasha something. I forgot her last name. The bottom line is the podcaster / social media influencer known as Tasha K, who has the tea, so she says. She might want to switch to water.
Oh.
Because sometimes when you spill tea that ain't actual tea.
Ooh, I smell a lawsuit.
Oh my goodness. And what we like to talk about on this show is a little thing in the legal system called precedence. And yesterday, precedence was created. Tasha said, Cardi B has herpes. She said, Cardi B's been a prostitute. She said, Cardi B is out here in these streets doing wild and reckless things. And Cardi B said, run me my money. And the judge said,
the entertainment industry is a little slow. I got some time.
I got some time.
Yeah,
I got some time. The best quote I think I heard about this was normally when you say say something reckless, a celebrity might say, oh, you'll be hearing from my lawyer. Cardi B's like, nah, I'll see you there. What time we meeting? And so Tasha K lost yesterday. She lost and got to pay Cardi B. Now, here's what's crazy about it. The minimum she's going to have to pay is $1.25 million. However, there are some reports that are saying it may end up being more than that because of some extra added components to the lawsuit. I was like, wow. Cardi B didn't show up at all. It was
is the cost of tea that high? Does Tasha got that kind of money?
Well, I don't know. She said she'll be back. She said she'll be back at work tomorrow, is what she said. So
stop playing.
That's what she said. She tweeted that out. She said, it's all right. My legal team, they did the best they could, and we'll be back on the air.
Hashtag you gonna learn today. She been dragging people for the longest.
Well,
and Cardi B's legal team said, okay, we want pain and suffering. We want what was it? Pain and suffering, and we want legal fees. Legal fees is almost $1 million.
Yeah, they want all of it. They want all their money back. They said we're not gonna be out of dime because of you.
We want money for slander.
All I'm saying is, listen, we do an opinion-based podcast. We reveal and opine on this show. But if we give you something of a realistic nature, of a factual nature, as I tell my team time and time again, make sure it's the facts. Make sure you have a credible cited source. A lot of times I get information, not from these guys, because these guys are amazing guys, but I'll find information and I won't go with the story because I don't know if the source is credible. I don't know if the story is credible. So I'll ignore certain stories because I don't want to smoke. I can't afford to smoke.
Well, I think that it's sad that it's come to this, but a lot of people don't do the research. They're so quick to repost something that they've seen. They don't look and see if it happened 10 years ago. They don't look and see if how long ago it's been.
It ain't me because I'm muted.
Fine, it was me this time.
Mm-hmm.
Every now and then.
So when you look it up and do the research, like somebody posted so and so died, and I was like, yeah, I know that was a long time ago. I didn't say it, but then somebody else went on there and said, "This is an old article, bro."
Yeah.
And I know people be excited that they made a discovery, or oh snap, I didn't know. I need to let the people know. I need to share. Well, you might need to research it first.
So here's the rule that we live by on this show. We're going to be right over first every time. We're going to be right over first every time.
As Unc would say, therein lies the rub, because there's no time to do research and be first. And the prophet Ricky Bobby said, if you ain't first, you're last.
Well, in this particular race, I would rather be last and right than first and sued. So we'll now if we scoop somebody and can be first at the same time, then so be it. But I'm just not willing, and I probably never will. And when the millions start rolling in, I still will be like, let's take your time with that. Let's walk over there.
I'm surprised she ain't been sued before now.
Well, she will be going forward, and that's why I brought up the precedence part of this. She will be going forward, and so will anybody else that recklessly gets on a podcast and says something that is not necessarily true. If you say it as fact, now you can state your opinion all day long, and that's what we do here. So we are never going to be in danger of that. But if you start stating things like she did as fact, I know for a fact that she's a prostitute. I know for a fact that she has herpes. I know for a fact that she did X, Y, and Z. Well, now, your source better be really, really good.
Well, and the other thing is that Cardi B's team's defense was that Cardi had reached out to this woman and asked her to take these videos down of the stuff that she's saying. And she continued to refuse and continue and not respond to her petition to have these videos taken down. And the fact that they went so far. Now, I'm not saying that Cardi B's squeaky clean and that she's never done anything. She's had a few scuffles and stuff like that over the past, couple of years or whatever. But my point is that her team had the audacity to say that we're so certain that what your girl, what's her name? Tasha. What's the girl with the T?
Tasha K. Yeah.
Tasha K. They're so certain that what she said was factual. They requested a health exam to confirm what they said. So
right.
So how would a person feel where somebody accused you and said, I not only believe that this that you're lying, but go to the doctor's office, get the test and have the judge require the test to confirm that I'm telling the truth. Wow, that's some.
Well, if you're gonna do it, you better be right. That's all I'm saying. But she wasn't. It wasn't, and now she's got to pay. She's probably, when all this is said and done, it's probably going to be about $2 million worth of money she got to pay. So, hope it was worth it. And not only that, you probably lost all credibility with any and every celebrity that's left out there. Like, you'll never be able to get that done anymore.
I'll be honest, I never even heard of her until the Kelly Price thing. When Kelly Price was missing and all that stuff, and somebody said she was, in danger and all that type of stuff. All of a sudden, this Tasha chick came through my news feed on YouTube, and I was like, "Who is this chick?" And she had so many followers of people that were like, really, and she like, quit playing. We know that you on drugs. You over there hiding out over. I was like, man, the type of vitriol this chick.
Well, listen, I don't want to give her that kind of because honestly, I'm not a fan of shock value journalism. I've never been a fan of it. I don't think that's what we're supposed to do as journalists. I don't think that's our job. So I'm not going to give her that much. The story for me was more about the precedent set than anything else. I don't really care about what she's talking about, and that's not shade, but it might be. I don't know. It could be shade, and maybe I should be careful because then she's like, I got to make this 1.5 million up somewhere. Let me sue these guys. But the reality is, you just don't. It ain't worth it to just put stuff out there and you don't really have a real true foundation of your story. And the other thing that I wanted to talk about before we get into the actual subject today, hey cuz, how you doing? It's perfect timing on your part. It is perfect timing. Why are you looking around? Okay, I thought you were looking around. Like
is it okay if I say that Kevin Hart is a small, short, minuscule of a man? Is that too much?
No, that's okay. That is actually fine.
Damn.
That is okay.
Just want to make sure because I'm liable to say something stupid. I just want to make sure I don't.
Well, listen, stupid is fine. Just make sure when you get to the factual parts that
preface everything with IMO. Yeah, in my opinion, just preface everything with that.
But are we in danger of losing the freedom of speech?
No.
Freedom of speech never included slander,
right?
Defamation. That was never protected.
And I don't think we've ever really had freedom of speech. I think that's a bunch of bullshit anyway.
Yeah, it's always been harnessed. You're absolutely right.
Why would you say that?
Because the truth of the matter is, why things don't want the truth told. We can't say exactly what we want to say about them because freedom of speech is not real.
Wow.
Let it be real. Let it be real.
You can say whatever you want to say. That don't mean it ain't consequences to saying it.
Well, I mean, you can say whatever you want to say in whatever country you live. There are always consequences, but it can come out of your mouth.
Yeah, you can say it.
Just in China, they're gonna lock your ass up.
They don't have freedom of speech.
In the United States, they're gonna cancel your ass or blackball your ass. Just ask Monique. She thought she could say what she wanted to say. She realized she couldn't.
Well, but
did she say something?
Yeah, she called Oprah and that other guy.
Lee Daniels.
That other guy, Tyler Perry, you mean?
Lee Daniels?
No,
Tyler
Lee Daniels.
Perry?
Lee Daniels.
Oh, Lee Daniels?
I mean Lee Daniels. But I think Tyler Perry was in there too. I think
she mentioned Tyler Perry.
It was a group
She told Tyler Perry what he could do.
She realized her freedom of speech wasn't so free.
I mean, it was free. She said it. Nobody charged that time.
You're right. You can say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, now I don't want to take away the free part. Now it is free.
It wasn't free. It costs. She paid the price.
Listen. In the bigger scheme, she was free. In the specifics of her life, her ass may never work again. So
is it free depending on who it is?
No, it's free.
When President Biden's mic was hot.
Can I talk about that? Y'all keep interrupting me. It's just like I don't know. I'm trying to play the clip for you so you can hear it.
I'm shut up.
We are giving away.
I just want you to hear it. Well, not that. That's a commercial. They ain't got to do with us. Here we go. And this part ain't got to do with us either. Lady, get off the screen. This ain't got to do with you. She's gonna take up 20 seconds of the clip, of a 50-second clip. Nobody asked you to say all that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, niggas be wanting to see the star.
Maybe you should have queued up and been ready.
You're right. Well, now listen.
Couldn't hear it.
I'll play it again. It's very quick.
Oh, wow. Damn.
Son of a biscuit eater. Is that what he said?
Well, so Fox News reporter Peter Ducey was walking out of the conference and he asked a question about inflation, and President Biden took a little umbrage with the question. And afterwards called him a stupid son of a bitch. I mean, that's what happened.
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
Wow.
Uncle Joe is one of a kind.
Is that freedom of speech? I mean, doggone it.
I mean, he said it.
He said what he said.
Yeah, he had a thought on his mind. He felt like he needed to get that out. He did. Now, the reports say he called him later and apologized. Said, "Dog, remember when I called?" He's like, "Dog, remember when I called you a stupid son of a?" You know how I be tripping sometimes. My bad, dog. We good. We good.
It's just comedy.
We good. Me and you. We good. We good.
Really? He meant what he said.
I think, me personally, I think that's beneath the presidency of the United States.
Absolutely. But
call somebody a son of a.
But we say it all the time. Precedent, because of what the previous
administration,
filthy
asshole.
That too.
See, I tried to
set precedent, and
you
now that office does not.
Language.
Yeah, that office does not hold the same level of decorum that it once did.
Mm.
In my opinion.
First of all, whoever had the hot mic on should be fired.
Well, he got to know he's sitting in front of a hot mic. He knew he was sitting in front of a hot mic when he said it. Listen, when you watch the video, it wasn't like this was the end of the press conference. They were walking out, and he's still sitting in front of the mic. So he got to know his mic is hot. Like, it ain't like, I don't know. He just had a brain fart, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, those conversations, those statements usually happen once you get on the other side of that door.
Right.
But let me ask you a question before we to Jay's question or Jay's statement. I think it's beneath the presidency.
The office of the. I agree with Jay.
Something great's gonna happen today.
Do you think President Biden is the first one to call somebody a stupid son?
Absolutely
no.
No.
The administration before him did it all the time,
but had enough decency to because even if the mic wasn't hot, somebody read his lips.
Right.
Somebody, those conversations, like I said, when you got back on the other side of the door with your inner staff, your upper staff, they heard those statements. So yeah, he's not the first, but to just casually let that slip in an open forum like that, yeah, that's beneath the office of the president.
But didn't Obama call Kanye West a jackass?
Again,
I mean, I guess my point is there no room for humanity in the office?
See, I told
there's a difference.
I'm just asking. I'm asking questions. Is there
ain't no freedom?
You shaking your head like no, there's no room for humanity in the office.
Right.
Listen, the previous clown that occupied the office, we despised him for the amount of name calling and belittling of people that he did. We knew some of Trump's policies, but really we despised the guy because of the person that he was.
Okay.
You can't represent all of America, yet you treat average Americans as if they are pieces of shit, if you will.
If you will.
Or shithole countries. If I could say you're a piece of shit over the hot mic, then what's stopping me from calling you an ignorant motherfucker next time? If I can call you the ignorant motherfucker, what's stopping me from calling you a piece of shit hunky? I mean, come on now. I'm just saying, if we gonna name call, if we going down that slippery slope, when do we stop name calling in public?
But did he say, bum, 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 is this thing on? You son of a biscuit.
Hear me, good reporter from Detroit.
I don't know if I disagree with anything you're saying. I guess I'm also trying to give a little grace to the humanity of the person as opposed to the office. I understand the office should we believe, and I think I believe as well, that the office should hold a higher standard. It's hard to see that on the backside of the way the previous president 44 was treated and the way 45 acted. It's very difficult to see any of that now. But I understand, and I agree with what you're saying.
Listen, one of the reasons why we vote for president of the United States, listen, first of all, presidents themselves are not the smartest people in the room. They should not be the smartest people in the room.
Right.
There are people around them that specialize in foreign policy, and specialize in the economy, and specialize in social, and so forth and so on. So they have these people that they gather around them, and they come in, and these people pour information into them. Barack Obama was a big reader. Donald Trump couldn't read, but yet, I mean, they read and they get information thrown at them, and then they have to make a decision based on the information that they get from the smart people. So really, the reason why we have the president, yes, he's a decision maker, but he needs to carry himself as a representative of this country, as the president, the leader of this country. So he has to have the reason why we don't want Bebe Nim to be president is because Bebe Nim talk like us. They gonna say stupid shit. We don't want that to be the president of the United States.
I don't disagree with anything you're saying. I guess again, as much as I want my president to be always on all the time.
No, ain't nobody asking nobody to be perfect, but you ain't got no business calling the man a stupid son of a bitch. Right there in the room. Wait till you get back in the room with Jill. Just you and Jill and the dog.
But what if he is a stupid son?
What if he was just trying to decipher whether he was or not? Maybe he did literally pose the question. Was he a stupid son of a bitch?
Right. Like maybe there's a trail off we couldn't catch on the mic. No, listen, all jokes aside, I don't disagree with what you're saying, cuz. Yeah. He blew it. The bigger problem is that he don't need to be doing this at all when your approval rating is in the 30s.
Well, that approval rating bullshit don't matter.
Well, it matters.
For Bozo, why won't it work for me?
It matters.
It comes and goes. It comes and goes.
It does, but his seems to be going a long time.
Yeah, it'd be all right.
You think so? You think he can rebound?
All presidents rebound from their first term, maybe their first year.
Even after calling somebody a stupid son of a bitch?
I mean, yeah, it'd be all right.
All right, well, we'll leave it alone then. For now. But what's the day? January 25th, we'll put a pin in it. We may have to come back to this day where I, come back and say, remember when I told you on January 25th?
Does it only seem like a year?
No, it seems longer.
That Joe B's been in office?
Yeah.
No. It seems like he's been there for quite some time.
Yeah, it seems longer.
Quite some time. So anyway. All right, we'll press on to the topic at hand today. We got some stuff we want to talk to you about. We got a video. We're gonna start today's show off with a video. Not that I say start today's show. I mean, we've been deep in the show for quite some time now, but we have a video that we'd like to show you. I don't even know if it really needs introduction. We just need to play it and let y'all see it and take it from there. So here we go.
Y'all hate to hear stuff like this from people like me, so I'm gonna go ahead and just let y'all watch this video.
Going off of compatibility just by itself can be a trap. Because first off, you can be compatible with a demon. Like devils know what you like too. the type of women that you like, you want her to have more curves in the highway. The type of man that you like, you want him tall with broad shoulders and a beard. The enemy can send you pain gift wrapped as your preference. So that's just the first thing about how compatibility can be a trap. The second thing is compatibility is season based. It is possible for you to be compatible with the season of their struggle, but not the season of their success. I want somebody who's going to be there for me if I hit rock bottom. Well, what if they can only handle your rock bottom, but they can't handle your upward season? So now the question becomes, are we really compatible? Or do we just share similar dysfunction? We're both broken in the same area. We're both wounded over the same things. We have the same feelings over the same wounds, so we end up sharing hearts. But what happens if one of you heals and the other one doesn't? Because just because you heal doesn't mean that they're going to heal. And just because you heal doesn't mean that you can make them heal. What happens if one of you heal? You will remove what y'all had in common. And I want us to be so whole and so secure that when we heal, we don't end up feeling guilty because they're crawling, but we now have wings. It's not just about compatibility. It's about suitability. Does this individual suit my assignment well? Do they complement what it is that God has me doing in earth while I'm here in time? When a man or a woman has found that, that's a blessing. Because when God gives a blessing, you're not going to have to exchange your mental health as payment to keep it. So maybe you're so exhausted because you're breastfeeding toxicity in order to maintain an image of being happy over the very thing that you told everybody was a blessing.
So I will repeat, normalize getting to know and to understand your position in people's lives. Normalize trying to understand people for exactly what and who they are. You cannot alter anybody. You cannot change anybody. You can only change your view of yourself and the world that you live in. So, y'all heard it from somebody else. I don't be talking in my podcast for no reason. Somebody gets it. Somebody else gets it. Love you more so that you understand your assignment. Be able to release in order to receive.
Well, a lot being said in those two different statements. Who would like to respond first? I don't even.
If I had control of the drops, I would drop the Whoopi Goldberg.
The Whoopi Goldberg. What is the Whoopi Goldberg?
Okay.
Oh, that one. Why would you drop that, Mama Noise?
It's sort of like when we had Women Wednesday last week. We watched two of those videos, and it was so much to unpack that it was almost like we probably should have just did the first video and let that be Wednesday, and then the next Wednesday or the next Women Wednesday do the next video, because it was like, wow, he said so much stuff. She said stuff. It's like I don't even know where to begin.
Okay. Who else would like to comment? I'll leave it open to the floor. Mama Noise doesn't know what to say.
In my opinion, black men speak with forked tongue.
Oh,
as the Indian would say. Compliments of Mama Noise's ancestors.
Oh my goodness! All right,
what's the difference between compatible, suitable? Can't they be interchangeable? So if one is compatible for only a season, they can also be suitable for only a season. So you didn't really do anything to clarify your point to me.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Now, I can understand what he was trying to say. I think get past the surface, get past the initial package, so to speak, and find out in depth how the relationship is going to be beneficial in the long term. I think that's what he was trying to say.
Okay.
But, just downplaying compatible and finding somebody suitable. Hell, those are the same. I can, interchange those terms.
Right.
So,
Can somebody translate? Because I got lost at the breastfeeding toxicity.
Cuz, break this down. You are an interpreter of me.
Oh God,
Break
he
this down.
is responsible for the distribution. So, surely that comes.
I didn't send no one out.
No, this one is no. He had nothing to do with this one.
This time.
No. He had nothing to do with this one.
Let me say this. I honestly believe that it's official. I hate religion.
You hate it? Hate's a strong word, cuz.
I don't like Christian dogma.
Okay.
And look, just pause for a second. Look what popped up on my phone.
Oh, of course.
Guy.
Y'all recognize this fella? Something
That's
totally
the guy.
different, though.
Healing is married to unlearning.
Wow. So I wonder if these people right there are listening.
Moved on.
No, those people.
Are they listening?
I wonder if they're listening.
Absolutely.
Please believe.
I apologize, Mr. Joyner. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can't interrupt his thought. It's gone.
No, he got it. He still got it.
He got it.
Because this one is his core. When it's in his core, it ain't hard to remember what he got to say. Go ahead, preacher.
We didn't do call to worship, brothers.
We
and
did
sisters,
not do any
family and friends.
Hold on.
When you said preach,
you're right. We did not do call of worship. Noisemakers, please forgive us. We should have done call of worship. We apologize. Go ahead, Al. I'm sorry.
Dear brothers and sisters, family and friends, we ask now that you move forward. Move towards your pew. Grab your bulletin and your church band.
Hallelujah.
Any amongst you who desire to make noise.
Yes. Make
let them
come.
Yes. Let them come.
Yes.
Let them come.
Ding dong ding. Okay. There we go. Whew. Now church service feels right. Go ahead, Pastor.
That must be one of those new churches because that music is not ours.
It was psychedelic, wasn't it?
Listen, you listen. You gotta keep up with the times. You can't,
My issue with what was said is that too many people get married for what the marriage can do for them versus what they can do for the marriage. Now, your dumb ass, you out there looking for a wife that's suitable to what you believe your calling is. Your calling.
Come on, preacher.
Your purpose. Can she align with your purpose and your calling?
Yes.
Can she go with you where you going?
Come on.
We don't get married anymore. I don't believe. To lift up your spouse and for your spouse to lift you up and for you guys to build together. It's really all about me and what. Listen. Too many folks. Now I'm gonna go and tell the truth, shame the devil, and Mama Noise and Mr. Noise and I'll be y'all can correct me, but too many people. They get into that church thing, and it really becomes about them. It's their personality. It's them. They mention Jesus. They talk about Jesus, but they talk about Jesus and what God has done for them. It's them. It's them. It's all about them. How blessed they are. How faithful they are. How they're walking and how they're doing and how they. Then some preachers have the audacity to wonder why, if they don't preach on Sunday morning, viewership or attendance goes down because you made the whole damn church about you.
Oh my, this is escalating.
You didn't make it about God. So I hear these Christians now in this talk that we do, this old talk. That's all we're doing is talking. It talks so much we don't even know what we're talking about.
Okay.
About how if you're with me during my downtime, you might not be suitable or you might not be compatible during my uptime.
That's what he said. He said what he said now.
That's because you were more concerned about your calling than you were your marriage. See, it's much easier for people that are in churches to use the church as the scapegoat. They don't have to work on their marriage. They don't work on their marriage. Most preachers have effed up marriages because they're totally committed to their ministry. I'm telling the truth now. I'm telling the whole truth. Then you wonder why she can't go with you because you ain't built nothing in her. You ain't done nothing. You ain't. I get so disgusted by all this old bullshit.
There it is. There it is. No. It's okay. It's all right. I understand. I appreciate the eloquence.
I apologize.
No, you said it beautifully. It was really well stated and eloquent and very articulate. And I appreciate it for what it was. I'm actually going to say almost the exact same thing, just different, just very different. And I don't have the eloquence of tongue or articulation of speech that you have, so I'm just going to say it like I see it, and I feel it in my own spirit. Jerry Flowers, with all due respect, and I mean all due respect, Pastor, you are totally and completely full of shit. First of all, let's start with the fact, because I mentioned earlier that when you bring out statements sometimes and you want to just talk to somebody, you need to come with actual factual information. Here is factual information. You are the lead pastor in your daddy's church. Fact. You've only been married 8 years. Fact. You have 2 very young, small children. Nigga, you just got started. Calm down. Well, here's what I'm tired of, cuz I'm tired of pseudo-intellectual young pastors trying to educate the masses on historical things that they are just getting started with. Anybody can come in and be eloquent in the first part of your ministry and dynamic and draw people in and sensationalize, and you got the glitter and the powder and the flour and the smoke and all this stuff, and you get people into the scene. Anybody can do that at the beginning, but what kind of pastor are you 15 years from now, 20 years from now? Can you sustain it? Do you have the wisdom to endure the hard times? Have you even been through any real hard times? My point is, young man, with all due respect to it, and I do mean all due respect, you just got your wife an hour and a half ago. This probably ain't the time to be giving people marriage advice. Not an hour in. This probably ain't the time to be telling people how they should. And see, here's the danger. Cuz, Mama Noise Al, here is the danger of a message like that. The danger is not what he said. The danger is the young lady that co-signed it. Because she will go now to the beauty salon and share that same BS. And then those ladies that are sitting under the thing will go, girl, guess what I heard in the beauty salon? And girl, guess what and now this nonsense is now fodder for the internet, fodder for the beauty salons, fodder for single black women, and then single black women are confused why they can't get a good black man. Here's what I heard in this young man's statement. Black men, you are lazy as hell because you want perfection as opposed to wanting to work to build something real. You want to go to the car lot and find the perfect car with no flaws and no mileage and no problems. But guess what? That car costs more than the used cars. Brand new cars cost more than used cars. So you either go pay one way or you go pay another way. But your ass is going to pay, and it's going to cost you something to make that thing work. And what we got to stop doing is giving men, now I'm defender of the earth today, damn it. We got to stop giving men a pass on the work that needs to be done in marriage. I'm so sick of these young dudes trying to be you know what? I've held this in for 48 hours. Because this really, when I saw that video, it kind of pissed me off. Because see, that's that old Michael Todd shit. That's what that is. That's young pastors who are the smartest in the room now. And you've been pastoring 5 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. Y'all don't see. Relationships, ladies, here's the truth. Relationships are work. Whoever you get, if you get your soulmate, I heard a podcast the other day talk about, is it the soulmate or is it this? It was Derek last night. They're talking about soulmates or spouse. It don't matter. It's all work. You can go get whatever you want. But the reality is, whatever you get, you're going to work at it. You know what? Y'all have got me hot over here.
But you know, it seems like it's a pattern. It's like this guy. Remember the guy who they exposed, who was on Instagram holding his wife's hand, and she had the sleeping cap on. And
it's the same guy, Mama Noise.
That's what I'm saying. It's the pattern of these.
It's the same guy every single time. The halfway decent, good-looking black guy who has a charisma, who can string a couple of verbs together, and now all of a sudden he is an expert. You've been married 8 years. Now, if you want to do a workshop about how you can be married 8 years, okay. All the people who've only been married 8 years or less need to come to that workshop. But come on, man. Okay. I know everybody gonna say, man, y'all just hating. Y'all just old. Y'all just that and the other. Nah, man, I've lived and I understand how this works. I understand how the ministry game works. I get it. You string together a couple of phrases, you flip some stuff in some double entendre, and now you got a rhema word from the Lord. Come on, man. I get the game. I get it.
I don't think that you're talking like, you know, you hating or nothing. You just when you have as much experience that you have, and we have experience throughout the years where it looks like, you know, the next big thing is like you said, the young guy that just pops up out of nowhere and says a few different things. Then it's like, okay, but you gotta value the wisdom of someone that has been there. Not to say that you don't have anything to say because you've been married 8 years. Like you said, if somebody's been married the first year, and then you want to hear from somebody who's been married 8 years or less, because you can encourage them, you know, or help them, give them wisdom or strategy to stay married for 8 years, and they've only been married a year. So you know, I understand that, but it is unfortunate that, you know, he was really like.
Because I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't win as hard as I did. I apologize.
No,
I'm retired. Thank you, Pastor. That's all I'm saying.
Really, I don't know how else to say it, so I'm just going to say, and you guys can correct me, but really, a lot of these preachers, I don't mean all, but I do mean a lot of these preachers are pimping God. And at the same time, they're trying to pimp their spouse because they are pimps. What do I mean by that? Their whole existence is about somebody's coming into my house. Their whole existence is about. Hold on, and he come in talking loud.
Listen, cuz will be right with us here in just a second. I like what you said, Pastor Core, and essentially you said it better than I did. I think my biggest frustration is that ministry is not a game. It's not. And I feel like I'm being gamed when I keep hearing, and again, this has nothing to do with your age. The age has nothing to do with it. It's the experience and the wisdom by which you pontificate. You're trying to tell us that it's you. Okay. You essentially in that video basically told women, or you absolved men and told women, y'all got to get y'all game up. If y'all want a quality man, y'all got to get y'all game up. What are you talking about? So you Kevin Samuels, you the Christian version of Kevin Samuels now? And it goes back to what Cuz just said, because I'm gonna let you finish, because we gotta stop acting like okay. Thank God for my mentor, Dr. Monroe, who grabbed me early and simply said to me, son, the ideal woman that you want is in your head. It's your responsibility as a man to help cultivate her, and she cultivates you into becoming what you want. And Mama Noise, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it not, hopefully it won't come across as insulting, but hopefully the people will hear it as real. We have worked on each other to get each other where we are today. If you honor our marriage in any way, form, or fashion, if you see something in us that you say, wow, Pastor Lloyd, listen, Mr. Noise and Mama Noise really do love each other. They really have a special bond and connection, whatever. Man, that took work. We put the work in to get this like this. And it wasn't just her. It was both of us working on each other. Her challenging me challenging her. We worked at this. And I'm not better than she is, and she's not better than I am. We work at it. Some of the work is the rough edges that she may have come into, not because she was just a bad person, but because she just didn't know, or she hadn't been experiencing certain things. It made me a better man. But it's work. And man, you're telling a half story for likes, follows, and subscribes, and you trying to get a shout because you know there's more women in the church than men. But that ain't fair to the reality of what these women are going to have to face when they get in their marriage, or what these men are going to have to face when they get in their marriage. You're telling them half truths. I don't like it. So that's my. I'm done.
Well, here's my problem with these Negroes. I say they're pimping God because the idea that God, if he doesn't do anything else for me the rest of my life, he's already done enough. I'm blessed. I'm grateful for where I am. Do I desire more? Sure, but I'm grateful for what he's already done. These guys, it's all about bigger, 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 more, more, more. Think big, live big. And people can't handle your bigness. They can't handle where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
You going somewhere. Well, the vast majority of us, if we're honest with ourselves, ain't going no damn where. We are where we are. But can I be grateful for where I am? Can I be thankful for what God has already done? The problem is that's not the message that they're saying. It's all about success, success, success. And then can the people in your life handle your success? Like your success is about you. I keep saying it to you guys. It's the mentality that we believe our success is about us.
What is it that they have to handle? Help me understand. What is it about your success that's so impossible that they can't handle it? That's what's blowing my mind right there. What are you doing that is so transformative that now all of a sudden you got to this level and I'm just no longer built to be there with you. So now you got to upgrade to something else.
Well, and once again, it's the dogma. They just be talking, just talk. Now, I agree that it does take a certain type of person to deal with a very successful person. I agree with that. But your whole existence is to be very successful. And that's not our purpose on earth. I just don't believe. Now, I know the cattle on 1,000 hills, I didn't pay attention in Sunday school. I can't quote the whole thing, but I know it's, he's our father. He owns the cattle on 1,000. Mama Noah's, help me out. Don't look at me stumbling.
You got it right. You own it. You
understand what I'm saying? I understand that, and I get that. But too many of us, all we care about is that success, and we discount people as if they don't matter. Only my success matters, and only if you can handle my success can you be with me. Come on, we got it. If that's Christian, damn it, I don't want it.
You know what's amazing about what you just said? Since we're talking Bible and they claim to be Bible scholars, let me show you how Bible scholars really work. Since we're talking Christian, and you're talking about, can you handle my success? Jesus allowed his biggest detractor, hater, and the guy who would ultimately sell him out to walk with him the entire way of his ministry. There was never not a time where his biggest hater didn't walk by his side. They were together the entire time, up to and including the betrayal. He kissed him in betrayal. You want to talk Bible? Let's talk Bible. Jesus don't mind allowing his people who are not qualified to go with him all the way, to sit and watch the whole entire journey. Because if you're going to be successful, you're going to be successful. But the reason why he didn't mind, he said, my success is to save everybody, including the guy that betrayed me. Come on, man. Y'all don't want to talk. Y'all don't want to really talk Bible. Because if we really start talking Bible, now we got to talk accountability. Now we got to talk real accountability. Real accountability has to take ownership to the fact that if I am successful and the people around me are not successful, did I do something wrong? Because if the Bible that you're talking about, you're quoting from for this particular situation, if it's still true and it reads true, isn't there something? Because maybe I'm not a Bible scholar either. Isn't there something in that same Bible that Jesus was so enamored with the success of all that he left the 99 to go find the one? Y'all don't know. Let me just may the Lord watch between me and.
That's what he said.
It's funny how Jesus didn't want to leave nobody behind.
But he was a people person. He cared about the people. These preachers, these old jank-ass preachers, they don't care about people.
Listen.
They care about what you can do for them so that they can stand up in church and brag about how successful they are.
Ron, listen to me, because I hear what you're saying, and you're not wrong. I'm saying, I've always been saying, I advocate for us to find the true church. The true church, to me, is the one where people start to understand that it's bigger than the building. Well, again, I reference Al Brown's church all the time because I think that's one of the few places on earth that are trying to do it right. They spend most of their time in the course of a year trying to serve others.
Mm-hmm.
They spend what is Al, 1 day, maybe 2 days in a service, not even 2 days, maybe 2 hours in church getting a word from the pastor for them. But the rest of the time they spend it trying to go and help other people. Now, Al, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, that was one of the things that I appreciated when we were about the ministry of Coach Elton Drake. is that ministry is always concerned about people. How can I help the people, the community? Even right before we had our cold snap here, they had, when I went over to the gym where he teaches the kids basketball, his ministry that Mr. Noiz also participates as a coach as well, is the Old School, New School Hoopers Club. And they had a whole wall full of coats. Because see, here in Texas, we ain't thinking about no coats until we get a cold snap. Then it's like, oh, man, where's my coat when we always have such warm weather? But ahead of the snap, they had all those chairs full of winter coats to be able to give to the community. And then to have their food pantry right in the community. And Mr. Noiz will tell you, I have beef with food pantries. If you ain't gonna do it right, if you're not gonna give the people the good stuff you like to eat, don't set up no food pantry and be trying to give nothing that you can't control. Pest control, you can't control, you know, what is it called? Vermin and all that stuff. You can't control all that. You don't need to start no food pantry. But that's my side note.
Rodents.
I'm just saying I can't do it. But I'm saying to be right in the community and to provide weekly for families and for their church to be right by the high school where, families are always in some type of need. And I dare say that I've watched different ministries and so forth. And man, it's like, what happened? I know that the church used to be the center of the community where whatever you wanted to know or whatever problems you had or whatever challenges, you could go to the church. This is what I heard.
Let me tell you what happened. I'm going to answer your question just the way Sean just wrote it. He said there's a fine line between accountability and judgment in the church today. Therein lies the problem. We have ministries popping up every day now. Charismatic, big, gigantic, massive ministries who are filled with pastors who are, like I said earlier, eloquent of speech, fluid in articulation of dialect. They can give you scripture, verse, and text. They can give you quote unquote rhema, whatever, but they have zero level or measure of accountability to what they are saying or what they are doing. So they feel like they can do whatever they want to do or say whatever it is they want to say, and there's no blowback on any of it. They can have as much as they want to have, and there's no blowback on any of it. This is not hate toward the church. This is a reality check toward what is real. And what is real is we are not holding the church accountable for the things that it says and does. So they get to say and do whatever they want to do. And it's frustrating because, again, that young lady, you heard what she said at the end of the video. She said, y'all heard somebody else say it ain't just me now. It ain't just me now. But ma'am, with all due respect, and I mean all due respect, if you are saying this from a place of singleness and hurt and frustration and you've never even been married, then how do you know you're right? It's hard for me to take, listen, if I'm trying to build something, I want to ask somebody how to build it that built it.
Wow.
Ministry over money grabs, yeah. That's just my frustration right now. And the video was fascinating to me because of how intensely he spoke and how intensely she co-signed it. But that, ladies, with all due respect, that ain't it. That's not how a relationship is supposed to work. Like Al said at the beginning, you just because you're compatible, the devil know you're gonna find somebody compatible.
What?
That's what he said. He said the devil can see you somebody compatible. Well, okay.
Well, I don't disagree with that now.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that's not even a point. That's not even a real point to make. Of course, we know that.
Okay.
That to me, I don't. To me, you're stating the obvious to make it sound like you're saying something deep.
Well,
that's the point.
We say it because we think compatibility means less work. We think compatibility means smooth sailing, that everything is going to work out just fine. That's not compatibility. Just because we're compatible doesn't mean that we're not going to have to put our work in to make our marriage whole. Because we're still two different individuals coming together. Now, if we get married and we both think the exact same on every damn thing, then God bless you. You got it going.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. No, I'm gonna disagree. Go ahead.
How much growth is it in that?
I was just gonna say I would disagree. I think you're in the most dangerous marriage on earth. If you got a person in your life that you married that they never disagree with you on anything, y'all probably headed for a fall. Because nobody's right all the time.
Nope. We all need to be challenged and pulled back on and pushed.
Listen, Michael Todd's wife should have went to him when he came out with that dumb idea, and she should have said, "Baby, I love you. I think I'm your biggest fan. You're my favorite preacher. But if you put that spit in that boy's face, they're gonna cancel your ass. They're gonna try to cancel your ass. This is a bad idea." Now maybe he didn't tell her, and that's why he was able to get away with it. Because that happens too. A lot of times the pastor think he's so smart, he don't tell his wife, who is his wisdom. He don't tell her, and so she's as shocked as everybody else is. But that also speaks to your character as well. Because if you can't run it by your wife, bro.
That's the other part of the challenge, because a lot of us in the church, we use this this phrase that really throws up a wall of being challenged, and that is, "I heard from God."
Oh man, stop!
God told me to do this.
Cuz you gotta stop right there, because you done said something. You done said something, man.
I can't be your spouse and tell you wrong, can I?
Because you heard from
God
God.
told you to do it. So then I got to go along like Willie Fufu said to myself, I know this shit here ain't the smartest thing in the world, but we're going to go ahead and do it.
So let me get this straight, cuz there's an obvious hole in front of the sidewalk that you and your wife are walking on. You both can see the damn hole. It is a hole. It has no end to it. It's dark. You can't see inside of it. You don't know how deep it is, but you know one thing, that it is an open hole. And you also know that if you keep walking in that direction, you both are going to fall in the hole, unless he has a strategy to get around the hole, jump over the hole, or to put something down so you can step on the hole and move forward. You both are going to fall in the hole. But because you said the Lord told me to keep walking and don't worry about that hole, we just supposed to keep walking? We have a phrase for people that do that. It's called being a dumbass. That makes no sense. But you're right, cuz. You are so right. There is... Woo. I like this show here. I like it because it's real. It's real. And I think this is why relationships are in trouble. I think this is why churches who are trying to teach about relationships are in trouble. There is no... Let me tell you something. My wife and I worked at a church, a mega church here in this city. And in that church, the pastor ran the church like both things were true. His church was raggedy and his house was raggedy. They were both raggedy. And the reason why both of those things raggedy, because these two things are also true. He didn't have accountability in the church, and his wife wouldn't stand up to the obvious dumb things that he was doing in their marriage. They were obviously dumb things. They made no sense whatsoever. But she never stood up to him, and the church never stood up to him. And they went from a 70,000 square foot building, 80,000 square foot building, state of the art. Damn near, I would say the church was ahead of the arts. It was a beautiful facility. They have now downgraded to something far less. They lost the building. And it's not surprising. Because when you're always the smartest dude in the room, you probably are the dumbest dude in the room.
Well, then the split.
Well, I don't want to get into all the specifics, but the split was because of his ignorance. The split was because couldn't nobody tell you nothing. I'm with you, cuz if you marry somebody and all they ever do is agree with you, there's a reason why Eddie Murphy went to America. The reason it wasn't to find somebody fine, it was to find somebody that he said could stimulate his intellect as well as his loins.
Watch your mouth.
Well, he kept telling her. She said, whatever you like. He said, I want you to wait a minute.
But don't miss the power in the statement, though. We want our loins stimulated, or our desires, or our passions, or our egos stroked. We don't want our minds filled and pushed and challenged and cultivated. So we end up getting the girl that, like you said, Mama Noiz, whatever you like, wherever you want to go, however you want to build. And then we end up making a fool of ourselves on TV and going viral.
What's the difference between the egotistical, self-absorbed CEO and the egotistical, self-absorbed pastor?
Location.
One does it out front for himself.
Mm-hmm.
The other one does it in Jesus' name.
Right. Yeah, location. Well, they're the same guy. They just same guy. It's scary, really, if you think about it. Because what happens with the pastor, I'm going to stick with the pastor because that was the pastor that gave us that raggedy information. He'll build mini-me's. So now you got a whole church full of men who don't typically go to church anyway. Now they're in the church following this guy, regurgitating that nonsense to their spouses and to their daughters, and they're leading them down paths of degradation. It's dangerous.
Well, and we're so hungry for direction, leadership.
Oh, yeah.
Because, this morning, Azaria asked me, they were talking about a place in New York, Nassau County, where the judge said masks are unconstitutional. A mask mandate is unconstitutional. So the school district has a portion of kids with masks and a portion of kids without masks. And they were like, this is crazy. They said when we went to bed last night, there was a mask mandate. They woke up this morning, the judge then changed it and said unconstitutional. The parents don't know what to do. And then the stretch further was that parents that saw kids that did not have a mask going into the school building passed out donuts. And Azaria said, what is going on? I said, it's a lack of leadership. It's a lack of leadership. Yeah. When we have a strong leader and people can see, okay, I can follow that dude. I see he's got a strong, he knows what he's doing. He has a sense of direction. He can lead the people. I can get that. But when you don't have when you don't have a strong leader, there is no leadership, then folks are scrambling around and trying to do what they think. And you got a whole bunch of different agendas. And then you get an outcome like this.
So I want to ask a question to you, and I want to ask a question to Cuz and the noisemakers. What is the result of a good man?
The result?
Yeah, a good leader, a good man. What are the results? What should the results be? Like, what You just said that when you don't have good leadership, confusion, this, that, and the other goes on. I got it. I agree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you do have good leadership? What should happen? When a pastor is teaching his congregation, his men, that marriage is work, that what should be happening? What should be a result of that? I don't know if I'm asking that question quite right, but I'm trying to. So let me hear your answer first, and then I'll be man.
Strong, healthy families. Healthy meaning the relationships, because they have the leadership, strong men, because most churches, the percentage of most churches is large. A large percentage is women, single women. But if you have a strong group of men that, because they're being led by strong leadership, it should be a healthy congregation. It should be balanced.
So what does a healthy congregation look like? What does that mean? Do you understand what I'm saying, cuz?
I do.
Okay.
You might not like my
We're
answer.
gonna get to your question in a minute because I like what you asked. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You might not like my answer though, but
I may love it. But let's see.
Along the lines of what we discussed yesterday, guidance does not dictate.
Oh, this guy.
Let me tell you something. A lot of preachers get bored with pastoring because they're preaching to the same people Sunday after Sunday after Sunday, and they see no change.
Okay.
That's why a lot of preachers would rather be ministers, go do revivals, get paid well, and come on back home, and they don't have to continue to see the failure, perceived failure of the flock. So just because I give it to you doesn't mean that you're going to live it.
Okay.
So what's the difference between motivating and inspiring? Are pastors to motivate you to action or inspire you to action? So a good leader, a good pastor, you should see some fruit of your efforts. But the vast majority are going to continue to struggle right where they've been the entire time. Can you love them despite that? Can you still encourage them despite the fact that most won't ever grow? Our churches have become motivational centers where we want to see growth. That has nothing to do with Christianity, y'all.
Or do we move, or do we change the measure of success to a different measurable? So maybe that's why you have to look at the size of the church, both literally and figuratively. Like my church is 70, 80,000 square feet or 150,000 square feet or 4 acres worth of land. My church has a bookstore, coffee house, arcade, go-kart track, whatever. And that's how we know we're doing the right thing, because we're able to do these things. We're able to build these things. Stefan asked a great question. Why do Black people rely on church for leadership in all aspects of their life? And my simple and very deliberate answer is because we always have. When has it ever been different?
Yes, that's correct.
And I don't know if that's wrong, but I I don't know if that's wrong. I just know that's what it is. And we never questioned it. Who else were we going to look? Where else were we going to look? The black father was leaving. So where else was we going? Where else were these women going to look? Because in the church, majority women. So, if these women are able to build a bigger facility, if these women are able to attract some men to the church, if these women are able to create ministries on top of ministries within the facility, isn't that the win? You can't ask people's lives to change and do the other thing, can you? I'm just asking.
What's a successful church?
That's what Sean asked.
I call a successful church that is more than just the preached word. It's a community. It's affecting the community around it. It is meeting the needs of the people. It's so many things, but it can't be just the preached word.
I want to stay right where you are and ask this question based on what you just said. So, is there a need to put a church in a community if the church never affects the community? Is there a need for that? Why do you need it in this community? What is the purpose of What is the purpose of having this facility in this place if it's not supposed to affect this place? I don't get it. I'm missing something. Everywhere Jesus went, he deeply affected the area.
Churches don't go into an area to deeply affect the area. Churches go to an area because of the more structure, the more houses, the larger the membership, the greater the tithe. Church, I mean, except for in the hood, I mean, that's been there for so many years. Churches really are like real estate investors. They go where the dollars are. They look at the projected growth, and that's where they want to be. We have a church here where I live called the Cathedral of Frisco. Cathedral of Frisco. I can't think of the pastor's name. You guys should know those preachers.
Why should we know them?
Dakum, I can't think of that. Anyway, they used to brag about the fact, or mention the fact, they were open with it, that there was so much growth going on around the church. Because that growth was would have a direct impact on membership, on tithe. And that's important to churches. As the community goes down, that church dollars go down. It's just a fact. So the church is not there to impact the community. I really do not believe that.
You said that the cathedral
of Frisco.
Are you talking about Elevate Church?
There you go.
Yeah, okay. Elevate Life, I guess is the name of it.
What's the preacher's name?
Let's see. I don't know.
No, he's a staunch Donald Trump supporter.
Keith and Sheila Kraft.
There you go.
I heard that before.
You guys should have heard of him before.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know.
Well, one of my good friends was a youth pastor out there for years, and
okay.
He died 2 or 3 years ago. But yeah, he was a youth pastor out there for years. So you don't believe that the church is there to affect the community?
I don't believe most churches are there to impact the community.
Well, that's disheartening.
So that's an antiquated perspective is for us to believe that the church is was supposed to be in a community to affect the community.
I was gonna say, is that anymore? Do you don't believe that anymore, or you've never believed that?
Remember now, as I said earlier, most pastors are discouraged and bored and sick of pastoring.
Wow.
Because you're preaching to the same people and you're seeing no results. That's why most of them, a lot of them, if they have a skill set, they do a lot of revivals. They do a lot of seminars. Woman, thou art loose. They're trying to reach more people, because they've been at this church for 10, 20, 30 years. And other than burying these folks, we got to raise money to bury them. But other than burying these folks, what are we doing?
And we're not going into the community to go get them.
Crime has gone up around the church. That didn't go up. Brokenness, marriages around the church, that hadn't improved. What's improved around the church? You pick the church, and we can discuss the area around it. I guarantee you, it has.
Oh, that's
because of the church.
That, you know what, that type of truth is just annoying. It is, because it's real. It is. It does not get better than that. So, okay. So everything is for likes. Everything is for followers. That's really what we're talking about right now. Because then I'm being too hard on Jerry and his lovely wife. Maybe I'm being too hard on them, because the reality is they in tow with the status quo.
A church has to also be honest. What's a good church? To some people, a good church would have to be a church that believes, like Frederick K. Price believed, we walk by faith and not by sight. And they need that type of church that has that type of message, because they're on a faith walk. But most of us are on a survival journey. How do we survive from paycheck to paycheck? Most don't. They got to rob Peter to pay Paul. So that church, their mission has to be different to those people.
I want to shift this conversation, not really shift it, but just add, or because we titled it relationships. That's not the right one. Relationships Goals 101. And the thing that people thought we were talking about when we said this, they thought we were going to highlight relationships. But what I wanted to bring forward was some of the reasons why we can't get to those relationships, and what Cuz is doing today. And I'm so, we've gotten to a place on this show now where I think we know each other so well that I can throw him a no-look pass from anywhere on the court, and he know how to take it and do what he needs to do with it. And the same thing for every one of the team. I knew the video we were going to see the greater thing, and not be fooled by the aesthetics or the simplicity of the presentation. But my fear is that how do you help a generation from falling into the traps of that visual and missing the mark completely of how God wants to unfold not just the personal relationship with him, but so Ron, you asked the question, or you not really asked the question, but you made a statement. Your statement was earlier, and I'm glad you showed up. You said, you ninjas are not helping me to change my mind about the church. And that hit me, because I don't know if I was ever trying to change your mind about the church. I mean, really, because I know how I feel about the modern model of what church is, and so I wouldn't want right now. I don't know where I would send somebody. If somebody asked me, "Hey man, where could you recommend a good church to me?" I don't know where I would send you, and I'm not sure I would send you anywhere as much as maybe to your favorite window into your house at Sunday morning with a cup of coffee or some tea, and say, "Here, read this book or read this thing or listen to this thing right here," because I don't want you to get jaded, and I know that if I send you into some of these facilities, you're gonna be a part of something that is not in conjunction with what God wants to do for your life for real. I don't believe God is trying to get you to follow. What have you done to me, cuz? I don't think God is trying to get you to follow religion like that. I think God is trying to get you into a real relationship with Him, something real and authentic that pierces every aspect of your life, from who you marry to the kids you raise to the relationships and friendships that you have. That's what's supposed to be taking place. And if it's not taking place, you're in the wrong relationship with Him. Does that make sense? Okay. And
Did
it's
you say
scary.
what have I done? Did you say
You
what
did
have
this to me. I'm jaded. No,
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But you understand what I'm saying? I wouldn't want you. Thank you, Derek. Derek always said better than I said. Religion is man's attempt to control God.
Wow,
That is you can't say it no better than that.
that's heavy.
That's what it is.
It's heavy but true. Wow. But
That's
I
what it
agree with
is.
you in that aspect that you said I don't know where to send people. Because you're like, man, I want to you see somebody's, I'm not, I don't, I know you've heard this a lot of times and I'm not co-signing that, but I'm saying the thing that used to be said at the closing of a particular pastor's telecast, a broadcast rather, he would say, find yourself a Bible-based church.
Mhm.
Now it's like, okay.
Well, we know we know who that is.
Right. But now
We do?
thinking
Joel
about
Osteen.
Joel Osteen.
Oh, does he say that?
Yeah, at the end, find yourself a
Every
Bible.
time.
Every time after he invites you to accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, he says, now you just got saved. Now just find yourself a Bible-based church. So now it's like, okay, where would I send them at this point? So that I agree. It's a dilemma.
What's up, Ron?
What's going on? What's going on?
Look what you started. This is all your fault.
I'm just here to learn, man. I'm just here to learn.
Listen, we all trying to learn, man. We're trying to listen. The hardest part about this thing, because again, when you hear what that guy said, and everybody now wants to say something to make you go, "Ooh, that was deep." That's the thing. We all trying to say something deep instead of really just saying something honest.
Clickbait.
It's clickbait. Listen,
Well, that's Titty Jake's fault.
He calling out names now. Damn.
explain that to the people. They may not understand.
There's probably not a greater deliverer of God's word that inspires people. Inspiration comes from the outside. Motivation comes from the inside.
Okay.
He inspires people by his delivery of the word. You have people all over this world that are constantly sending out clips of his sermons because he does such a great job of giving you some meat and potatoes to chew on in that sermon. He really is good at it. I mean, that's just the whole truth. And now these preachers are out there trying to be as thoughtful, be as great at it as he is. Because prior to him, we had Frederick K. Price. Frederick K. Price was straight word in his hand, walking around giving you the word. And he was great at it. Don't misunderstand me. But he wasn't as theatrical as a T.D. Jakes. T.D. Jakes makes you want to throw something at him sometimes. He did that preaching so hard. It's like, oh my God. No, he didn't say. He's talking straight to me. He's talking to me. He's talking to me.
Right.
Now these preachers are trying to compete with that. They want to be just as successful. What pastor wouldn't want to have a potter's house?
Well, what's the success they're looking for?
Membership. I'm sorry, go and run.
Well, what's the success they're looking for?
Money.
Oh, okay.
Money and members.
Membership and money, yeah.
But I'm going to tell you the first person I heard
I'm sorry, go ahead, Mama.
That impacted me after I got saved for real, I call it. The church I was going to, I mean, I knew the pastor, but it wasn't the zeal, pizzazz, sparkles, and stuff like we're talking about. But I'm gonna tell you something. I heard a man preach from the pulpit that didn't have no fizzles, no sparkles, no flashes, and his voice made me go, "Oh my gosh, who is this dude?" And his name was Caesar Clark. When he stepped up on that pulpit, I'm talking about, I never seen anything like it because I was a member of the church and there wasn't room for the members because all the pastors in the city came to hear Caesar Clark. And so he came up to the pulpit, straightened up the microphone and said, his words were,
deeper, go deeper.
I came to tell somebody that's on their way to hell or something like that. Man,
your voice ain't deep enough for Caesar Clark.
No, and it was real slow and methodical. It wasn't straight to the point. It was like, I came to.
It's still not there.
Still not there.
It ain't supposed to. I'm getting as close as I can get. I was like,
that's on their way to hell.
That's it.
I was like, who is this dude? And I mean, every pastor was on the literal edge of their seat. They're on the pews, but they was on the edge of the pews, leaning toward the pulpit. Like, in other words, the sound wasn't loud enough because he refused to adjust his.
Can I say something blasphemous? It's partly his fault too.
For old school.
Right. As much as I love Dr. Caesar Clark, I think he's a genius. Mm-hmm. I think he's an absolute genius. But the problem with amazing, articulate, charismatic orators is that now everybody successful too. Now everybody wants to be them.
The copy. It's definitely a copycat industry.
It's a copycat. It's, as we say in football, it's a copycat league.
Absolutely it is. I
won with this. Like you just said, Mama Noise, I packed the place. The people couldn't even get in because the preachers took over the seats. But guess what? When I didn't even hear what he said, I saw what he did. So now I'm going to copy what he does so I can get what he has.
And they want us to believe they're hearing from God.
Right.
He even talked a little bit like Jay.
But how does that help the person who's going to church to?
Oh, it doesn't. Oh, Ron, it ain't got to do with you. It ain't helping you at all. It's helping me. It's going to help me get these calls all across the country to go preach. It helps me to, it ain't going to help you at all, but it's going to help me become a celebrity. Listen, I'll never forget, I saw a young man. This dude may not have bust 30. Walk into a church and imitate Caesar Clark. I came by to tell y'all, like, you are 31. You ain't got a seasoned older voice. What's wrong with you? You look ridiculous.
Well,
So then that's the question. Then why church? You know, I'm the shit starter, so I'm gonna ask the question.
Well, hold on before we answer that question. That happens even now today all over this country. You had many young preachers at that time that wanted to imitate Clark, and many that wanted to imitate the hooping skills of Jasper Williams. And now today you have many that want to imitate Freddie Haynes.
Freddie Haynes,
he has clones all over this country, and the same with T.D. Jakes. Many that want to stir up like T.D. Jakes does. So it's a lot of imitation going on. Imitation is the biggest form of flattery, and the preachers don't mind being imitated either.
It's the purest form of flattery, but it's the most dangerous form of progress. Because it ain't helping us at all.
Freddie Haynes said in his own sermons that he used to imitate big preacher in Dallas.
Stevie Hill?
Proctor.
Oh, Proctor.
In Dallas?
Yeah, I can't think of this. I'll look it up.
Okay.
And he had to realize, because the guy came to his church and preached to Friendship West and preached and tore up Friendship West. Well, generally speaking, preachers tear up a church because they have hooping ability, which means they can hear themselves. They have tone.
The hooping ability.
They can sing. Yeah.
Okay.
So they can tear up a church just by doing that. And Freddie said himself, I was jealous because I couldn't do that, and he still can't do it. But he had to learn how to preach his own way, his own. Most preachers don't ever really get there. They're constantly copying other pastors.
I used to call it. You have to find your own voice, right? And guys struggle with that because there's a propensity to try to duplicate and find. I get it. When you first start out, you are looking for a blueprint. You're looking for somebody that you can emulate and become. But at some point, you got to be you. But it's even deeper than that. Forget the presentation. What is the substance of the message? And does the message translate to activity at any point in your ministry? Because if all you are at the end of your life was a great preacher, dare I say, young man, dare I say, young lady, you may have failed the ministry. If the only thing you've ever accomplished in your ministry at the end of your ministry is your eloquence of speech to crowds, dare I say you have been wildly ineffective. I'm just listening. So to answer your question, Azaria, Creflo Dollar, he's fine. There are a lot of Creflo Dollar clones out there. Money cometh. I can name it and claim it and all that stuff. There's a lot of those guys out there as well. But if that doesn't translate to true change, true transformation for people, then I don't know how effective you've really been.
Yeah, and I guess that's what's crazy is they're not effective, but they keep getting people. So are people that desperate to the point that they will sell their soul to go to that church to hear not hear the word, but hear some other word?
Not sell their souls. I don't know if that's the right term, but I'll say this.
You put all your money out there, you sold your soul.
I don't. I understand what you're saying. I don't know if it's that as much as it is people are because they don't have direction and because they don't have understanding of their own lives, they're looking for assistance from somebody to help them find that direction. And so people put a trust And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with someone being a person to tell you, hey, let me help you find your purpose. Let me help you find your, guide you to what God is maybe doing in your life so that you can fulfill that. But it becomes dangerous when that relationship with God is not, and what God wants you to do is usurped by what the church wants you to do. So then we lock you inside the building and say, well, we want you to be an usher, and we want you to be a deacon, and we want you to work the parking lot ministry, and we want you here 40 hours a week, and we want you to come to every service, and we want, like you said, now that's where it comes dangerous, Ron, when you're giving all your money to the thing that is in the building and you're not ever helping or doing anything outside the building. That's where
that's what I'm asking. Is are people that so far off that they need that much hope when they see it in their face every time they go that is BS? Are people that naive?
I'll answer that question by telling you one of my favorite stories from the movie American President. There's a scene where Michael J. Fox's character busts into the president's office to confront him about an issue that's going on. And he says, the American people don't care about your life, Mr. President. They care about their own. They want leadership. They want it so bad, they'll walk through the desert, and when they can't find the water, they'll drink the sand. And the president said they don't drink the sand because they want leadership. They drink the sand because they don't know the difference. And I think that's the problem. That hopefully answers your question. Because I think we don't know what it is at all, that when somebody offers us Kool-Aid, we drink it and never question the cyanide that's in it. That's where we are. And it's scary. It's scary, but it's reality.
But it kind of goes back earlier. It's like when Stefan was asking about, I think it was Stefan, Sean, one of them, why are we looking for leadership in the church? Why are we looking for leadership out of the church? Knowing what we know now, why are we still looking for that leadership?
That's a great question.
Well, we have to understand our history as Black people in this country.
Going off somebody else's religion.
And Sean, I have an answer for you on that as well. Go ahead.
Without the Black church, we wouldn't have made it. It played a huge role in giving us hope and keeping us alive until we can make it.
But everybody went in the church at that time.
Say what now?
But everybody went in church at that time. It was a small number in church. So
the Black church was huge.
It was huge, but everybody went in the Black church.
Well, I mean, we may have had some Muslims, but most Black folks come out of the church. Most Black people come out of the church.
And Ron, you said you kind of alluded to the fact that it wasn't our religion. No, it wasn't our religion, but God has always been ours.
God is God.
But I want to be specific. God has always been ours. When you truly understand how to trace God back to Africa, you realize God has been Black people's God forever.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
I know how to trace it all the way back.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, it wasn't us that tainted it.
No. When I say we also mess with religion, again, Christianity isn't the oldest. It's just what was taught. It was what was fought over. Is what people built wars against to make you go to something they wanted you to go. So they basically took a religion and forced it upon everybody.
They created one.
They created one.
Right. They took even more specific, they took the foundation of what we believe and twisted it and turned it into something else.
Yeah, and I agree with you. But the question is, again, we're looking for leaders out of the Black church, and I still don't know why.
Well, because we had leaders, we didn't have leaders. Period. We were looking for something. We were looking for somebody to help us to see something and connect it to some level of truth and purpose. And the only place that was viable to us was the church. Now I don't know, and I think for a time that wasn't necessarily a bad thing. But
We needed
listen,
it.
yeah, but once, man, listen, once celebrity entered the church, once business turned, I mean, money and business collided with the charisma of the church, we lost our way. We have lost our way, man, and it ain't the same. It don't stand for the same stuff no more.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think it was ever wrong per se that the leadership was we desired it. I just think it became a thing where we let others, like we've always done. We've a few bad apples spoil the bunch.
And dare I say, the black church.
Go ahead, Mama Noise.
Dare I say, the black church was a place of refuge. It used to be where, I'll just tell you, like Mr. Noise, you know, he is literally the jack of all trades. Where, I mean, he has been summoned by families to go and represent their children, you know, to keep them out of jail or keep them out of juvenile detention center, go to the school to advocate for their, I mean, to tell you, I don't know what some of the, you know, noisemakers and stuff have seen, and I'm so sorry that you've seen those examples, but there is men like Pastor Cord and like Mr. Noise that I know has been, if it weren't for them talking kids off the ledge that were ready to just throw in the towel, families that were ready to just give up, that blended families that said it can't work, marriages that were about to fall apart. These are the things that I call the ministry, is where you're saying, I'm here to try to help restore. I'm here to try to help heal the community and families and the people of God. And we've seen nothing but the contrary when you look at the news and all of the media that talks about the different things, and some of the stuff that you can say, well, it wasn't media, it wasn't that, I seen it for myself. Right. That's what I'm saying. I'm so sorry that you had to see that. But I sure wish you could see that there are men out there that are willing to advocate, willing to fight. And they happen to be called men of God. They happen to be called preachers. They happen to be called the leaders of God that really do live the life, and they're not perfect. They do make mistakes. They are good men. I just wish that you guys could see that, because then you might have a different perspective on your thoughts of the church, because the church itself has given some.
But Mama Noise, I want to give full transparency to something, and I'm gonna do it by answering Sean's question. He said, "Have you ever heard of a preacher that has ghostwriters?" Sean Saunders. I've been a preacher. I've been the ghostwriter. I have never had a ghostwriter. I'm Jay-Z about mine. But I have been the ghostwriter. I have written Still DRE for some preachers before. Mr. Lloyd, can you help me put some my sermon ain't coming together. Can you help me? Yeah, I'll help you.
Yeah, and Mom knows. Trust me, I believe it's 60-40. I think there's probably 60% of the churches are doing what they're supposed to do. The other 40% is not. Unfortunately, the 40% is getting most of the attention.
And I would argue, Ron, that number is way too high.
Ron, I can't hear you.
60-40? No, I wish it was 60-40.
Sorry, no, Mom knows. I said.
Now I can hear you.
Yeah, to me, I thought it was more. I said 60% of the churches I think are doing good, and I think the other 40% are not. Lloyd said he think that number's probably.
I think it's way too high. I mean, cuz, do you think it's 60-40?
60-40 what again?
That are doing the right thing and 40% that's not?
And I don't know it both for a fact. It's just a number.
I know you're throwing out a number. I'm just saying.
But
that seems high to me.
I still think there's more good than it is bad. I think the bad gets more publicity because the bad has more of the money.
Bad does get more publicity. And that's a sad commentary, but it is factual.
And nobody wants to see the good that our folks are doing, because then it makes us get better. So they're going to promote all the bad stuff that we have going on. That's why I believe I do believe it's a bigger number. I think it's 60% of people are doing the right thing. It's just that 40% has a lot of power.
It does. It does. And I'm just telling you, as a first lady that is stood beside my husband and watched the phone calls of all hours of the day and night, sometimes girls that have made the wrong choice and they done slipped up and had sex, and they wouldn't, now they think that they're marked or scarlet letter. Now you're trying to talk to them. You're trying to say it makes me full of emotion, the type of stuff that we have experienced. And even, with the young people are so, they're like, they want to learn. They want to know how to live a good life. They want, and some of them, the reason why the church is such a focus in their lives is because where else are they gonna go if they ain't got daddies, strong daddies like all you guys are here? If they don't have those, they ain't got strong uncles and stuff like Lloyd was talking about earlier. A church with strong men. If you don't have strong men, where are you supposed to go? You go to the one you think, you hope that guy is the strong one. If you don't have leadership in your home or your community, you hope that the church is being led by a strong man. And so what's the alternative? Go to the local drug dealer? He look like he a strong dude. He doing all right for himself. What's the alternative? You think about all the different guys doing everything else, and you say the gangs. I don't have a strong leadership in the home or anywhere else, but you know what? The gangs is family. So what are they supposed to do?
Wow.
Find like you said, you got to find that strong male in the house.
I think that was directed towards you, cuz I don't know. I can't know.
I don't think so.
I can't know for sure, but
I don't know. He leaned forward like he wanted you to know that.
I was making sure you heard the mic because you just heard it earlier. Make sure it came through
good. Did we settle on the 60-40? Y'all settled. What number did y'all land on? Y'all okay with 60-40?
Cuz did not comment.
Because I don't know.
I'll just say this. In my experience, it is not 60-40.
Like I said, I think there's more good out there. I just don't think the good.
What do you call it? Good
Outshadows.
What are you calling good? What are you calling good?
That are doing it right. I think there's 6% of churches that are doing it right. I think.
What do you call doing it right?
Not making it about self, making it about us.
Then it definitely ain't 60-40. That's what I was saying. I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying there are very few pastors that I know, and I know a lot of pastors. You go through my phone right now, there's a lot of pastors' names in there.
Oh my gosh.
Out of all those pastors that I know, not making it about self.
And if that number is not 60-40, you might well shut it down and turn it off.
Well, then you might as well shut it down and turn it off. Because I'm telling you, it ain't 60-40. I would say
50-50?
No, not at all. I would say more like
less than that.
I would say like 20-80.
Dang.
That don't think about what you're saying. Cuz has been saying it the whole show. Not making it about self, not making it about what you do and how you preach and what your church looks like, and it truly trying to help the people on a week-to-week basis. Not just preaching to them, but truly trying to help, truly trying to make sure that the people are growing and becoming what they're supposed to become and having healthy families. Those, man, that ain't 60-40. That's not 60-40. I'm sorry. And I wish the thought engineer was here because I'd love to hear his opinion on that too. But I don't think it's 60-40. Maybe 30-70. I'll give you 30-70. But 64, no. 60? No, not at all.
I'll try and give you benefit of doubt.
I've been in it though. I've been in it. And my point of bringing up that I was a ghostwriter is that I wanted to highlight the fact that I think I was part of the problem at one point. Because I believed I believed in our initial mission, where I thought we were trying to help people. And it felt like that's where we were trying to do in the beginning. But as the thing began to grow, man, it became less and less about the people and more about us. How are we gonna pay this bill? How are we gonna grow this ministry? How are we gonna build this thing, this other thing? It wasn't about people.
If that number is low,
it's low, bro.
They're doing a horrible job.
But Ron, don't think about this. Think about all the black communities that you know of. Do you see a lot of powerful black communities out here?
No.
Now, get in your car and drive through those same black communities. How many churches are in those communities?
Too damn many.
A lot.
That's my point.
Well,
So that number can't be 60-40 if they're truly helping people, because there are people next door to that church that need the help.
But I'm saying those churches are, well, again, they might not have the number of members to do the work that they need to do, but because everybody is other churches. I'm trying to give you credit.
I understand what you're saying, but Ron, I go back to what I say all the time. Look at Al and them little church. Al and them ain't got no big church. It's not a big facility. I've been to the church. It's not a huge church. They ain't got a whole lot of members, but they literally over Christmas fed 500, 600, 700 people with the few members that they have. You just work with what you got and do what you can.
Yeah. But damn, that number is low, boy.
It's low, bro. I mean, because don't want to.
Then the question becomes, what's the point?
Well, that's a whole nother show. Cuz don't want to cop to that part of the show. I don't know why he all of a sudden getting quiet, and this is all his fault.
There's a pastor that is very successful out of Houston. His testimony is how God brought him from that little church to what is now a mega ministry. I can't think of his name.
Evie Hilliard?
No, he's from here.
Is it?
I can't think of his name. But anyway, that's his ministry. That's his testimony. He made the small church, the fact that he was pastoring just a few, he made that about him versus God. See, pastors don't want to preach to a few. They want to preach to the masses. The bigger the audience, the bigger the ego boost is. It's like they're a rock star up there on stage in a concert. So that's totally about the ego of the pastor and not the God that he's preaching about.
Mm-hmm.
They feel as if they are a failure if they don't have the numbers. That has nothing to do with God.
The church Mama Noise was talking about earlier with Coach Drake, that church, not only are they small, but they're quote unquote old, meaning that the average age of the congregation begins in its 60s, 70s.
Wow.
And they feed people every week. They're not a big church. They might have 50 members, 60 members, maybe 100, maybe. And certainly all 100 don't come at the same time.
I.V. Hilliard.
Yes, I'm very familiar with I.V. Hilliard.
He's great at what he does now. He is great at it. Very successful.
Has his daughter become his successor yet?
No, I don't think so.
I thought I saw a service that she was being handed the.
Uh-oh.
Or did what happened with a lot of pastors is they said they're gonna give up the church and pass it to a younger person, and then all of a sudden they backpedal, and then they say, "Man, I don't feel like being retired. I still got something in me," and then they take it back.
But the problem is they haven't prepared them to take over. Think about this. Just yesterday, Cora Jakes announced that she's getting a divorce.
What? Oh, that's the one's the spitting image of TD Jakes.
Ain't her and her main? Aren't they the ones that's the pastors? They were the pastors of the Denver location.
No, that's the Sarah.
Or whoever Corey is, Cora Jakes.
Cora is the one that's got the little chunky face. She's the one that looks just like TD Jakes.
Yeah, she wrote the book and stuff.
Okay, so Cora is getting a divorce?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's Hilliard, right?
That's Hilliard. That's Ivy Hilliard right there.
Oh, so I guess she didn't. He didn't give her the.
Oh.
Listen, that was a little while back, but I'm telling you, I watched the service where he was giving her all the responsibility and he was stepping down. I guess that was a blip.
No, it's the reality. But here's the other problem, and I say this with all due respect to TD Jakes. I do. I get it. I get you trying to hand it off. I get you trying to empower your kids. I'm trying to empower mine. I get it. I just don't know if you're supposed to empower them to do something that they're not built to do.
That is true.
You got her out here trying to be over some ministry or whatever, or write books like her daddy, and then now all of a sudden it's with a heavy heart that I announced that my husband and I have decided to divorce. This is a very private and personal matter, and I kindly ask for your prayers as I prioritize myself and, most importantly, my children's well-being at this time.
But why even announce it? What's the point?
Well, because you've been announcing everything.
You want to get ahead of the rumors.
Well, because you've been announcing it. But see, that's my problem with the whole thing. You've been announcing everything. You have an active social media presence that your whole thing is about becoming what your dad is, more or less. I mean, we can say other things, but the truth of the matter is, and again, I have no problem with you following in your father's footsteps. I think that's the way, but at the same time, if it's a calling, you probably should be called to it.
So is it that as the black church goes, the black community goes? So as more popular the black church get, it seems like the black community gets poor and worse and worse. So are those on equal trajectories?
No, it's never been on equal trajectories.
Well, when I mean equal, I mean the more popular the black church.
I know exactly what you mean.
The more devastated the black community is getting. Look like it's going in the exact same. Church is going this way, black community is going this way. It's like every time it gets higher, that black community gets worse.
I'm gonna go back to what Cuz said, and then Mama Noise, you jump back in. That would imply that the mission of that church was to serve that community.
Which if they're not serving the community, I mean the community is falling. But the church is steadily rising, but the community is falling down.
Well,
so is the church is going up? Is the community going down?
The church is going up because of the community.
But the community is not going up.
But doesn't matter. I'm saying the church thinks it's going up because the community thinks it's going up because of the church. See, the church. See, Bishop Jakes is Bishop Jakes because we made him Bishop Jakes.
I get that, but is the community? So the community is pouring money into the church, but the community is not getting any better. There's no businesses. There's no economic growth. There's no family growth. But yet the money's still going to the church. So the church is still going in the positive direction, but the community's not.
Right.
So as the church gets more popular, the community gets worse.
I don't know, because especially during this pandemic, the rubber has met the road on a whole lot of churches.
But I would argue,
anybody got no money right now.
but I would argue that the church was never, the community was never better in the first place.
Right. Which, again, the church is
No. You're saying the church should be getting, the community should be getting better because of the church, and I'm saying the church was the community was never better. It was never been better. When have we ever been better?
That's the question. So why are people continuing to make the church better, but the community's not getting any better?
The same reason we've cut the turkey in half and put half in the trash and the other half in the oven. Because that's what our mama did. That's what our grandmama did. We don't have a reason behind it. We don't even have the reason. It don't even make sense no more. But we do it because that's what we've always done.
And dare I say, a lot of people, I can't speak for everyone, but there is a lot of people that felt or feel that what they do is they're doing it to God and not the people. They feel like I'm giving to God because he's done all these wonderful things for me. Not taking in the fact that, oh, okay, the church is doing this, the church is doing that. It's like a I don't want to say the blind leading the blind, but it's kind of like, as sheep, you got the person saying we all go this way. Well, the sheep just go ahead and go that way. They don't say, you know what, it looks like it's a cliff that's coming up in about 100 feet. Why are we still going in this direction? They just keep going that direction because that's the way they've always done it. Like, I think I'm just saying the same thing Lloyd said about that's the way.
Something you want to say. Cuz got something on his mind.
Cuz you leaned up. I saw the lean up. I acknowledged the lean up. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's got something profound he's about to say.
Wow. The church is not interested in improving the community. The church is interested in status quo, sustaining the community. The church is interested and very proud of any church you go to. If you talk to the pastor, if you know the pastor personally, they're very proud when they have doctors, lawyers, politicians that are members on roll. They brag about it. They're very, very proud of that they have educated people that come to their church, PhD holders. So they want that. But the vast majority of the community is not that, and they don't mind that staying the same. The more whole the church is, the less people will rely upon the church and go to church. The more whole the community is, the less people will rely on church and go to church. People generally go to church all the time out of two reasons, tradition and brokenness. If they are healed, if they're not in need of, they don't feel like they are in that position because God is whooping them and God is punishing them. If they feel like they are blessed and highly favored, truly, and not just talking that old bullshit they be talking. You blessed and highly favored, yet you behind on your rent this month. Stop it. Your ass ain't blessed or highly favored.
Depending on the month they got blessed, but okay.
You know it's an eviction notice on your door. You talk about you blessed and highly.
Maybe it's where they're checking in their savings work, Coach. Sometimes
the church ain't gonna help them anyway.
So truly, when people are blessed and highly favored, generally speaking, now this is not right. I don't believe in this, but generally speaking, they go to church less because they don't need church as much. Even though, if you were raised traditionally to go to church, you will probably still do it to a degree, just not as much.
I want to offer another thing. And we say this about the medical community all the time, but it's oftentimes true as it relates to ministry as well. Ron, there is no money in the cure.
Of course not. The money's in the vaccine.
If I
make more money giving your ass a shot every year than to give your ass a shot one time and you not come back.
If I keep telling you there's a chance it could get better, instead of showing you how to actually get better, I can make more money telling you than I can showing you.
Mm-hmm.
Now that seems ridiculous, because you would think that if you showed me, it would create a path for others to want to be a part of that and show others how to get out and whatever. But man, there ain't no money in the cure. Go ahead, cuz you muted.
I'm sorry. If pastors really cared about the community, the church, they would do everything within their power to build up families.
No brainer.
That is the answer.
There's no way.
No other way to do it.
Cuz there's no way that a church with $74 million should have struggling families.
Well,
I'm not saying.
Now, hold on now. Money ain't the answer.
No. Listen to what I'm saying though, because I'm not saying give people money.
Okay.
But you should have structures and strategies and programs and opportunities in place to, with $74 million, you can't empower that community that's around you.
I don't think you can do a damn thing for it, to be honest with you, Mr. Noise.
I tell you what, if that's true, then man, we in trouble.
Listen, $1 billion ain't gonna help us.
But I'm saying you can't come up with the best stuff to help these people in this church.
The hell you don't do if you don't fix the family structure. What are
That's
you
what I'm
do?
saying. But because hear what I'm saying. You can't, with $74 million, you can't come, y'all can't sit, we can't, you try to tell me the five of us couldn't sit around the table with $74 million and come up with some things. Now, I'm not saying we're gonna fix every family, but damn it, we gonna fix a lot of them.
What we gonna do? Pay them niggas to go back home?
No, but we gonna figure out other things that we can do. Well, hold on, cuz let me tell you something about me and this man down here below me.
Okay.
4 years into us working for Metro Parks. Metro Parks is I don't want to call them the recreation, but it's the city of Louisville, basically. He and I worked, and we were hired as supervisors, summer supervisors, to work with young people in the community, in impoverished communities in the summer.
Okay.
1 year, they said, Ron, Lloyd, we want y'all to go out to Newburgh. We were like, well, because normally we were working out of schools or community centers every summer. But this summer, they told me and Ron, we want y'all to go to Newburgh. And we said, well, what church is it? What school is it? They said, well, here's the address. Ron, tell me I'm lying if I'm lying. They literally sent us out into a field with a tent and some chairs and some tables and said, run a summer program for the next 8 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever it was. And guess what we did? We ran a damn summer program out there for 6 weeks. We figured it out.
Attendance from the big, it was a nice field though.
It was a nice field. It was hot as hell, but we did it. And we had kids from all over the community who wanted something better, who wanted to be exposed to something better, who wanted to see something better, who wanted to feel like there was something better than what they was experiencing in their neighborhood. So I'm saying money can help you do some things. Now I'm not saying, I don't know if I think we changed some lives. I feel like we did, but I'm saying if you have some resources, you can have some impact. Now, I'm not saying we give people money, because I don't know if that's the answer either, because in fact, I'm pretty sure it's not. Without understanding and without wisdom, giving people money is not the answer. But if you teach them and bring them to a place of understanding and growth and connectivity back to the family, and we got the resources to do it in a way that's honorable, then maybe we can create change. That's all I'm saying.
You know, it saddened me because, you know, I've been a part of so many different ministries, and I think this one in particular ministry just saddened me the most. Giving people microwaves and blenders and TVs and
Well, I ain't talking about that BS. That's BS.
no, I'm saying that
Yeah.
I keep thinking the size of this ministry could have just, even if they went out, they found a relationship with a good car lot of used cars, good used cars, and purchased several of those. And you know, you got members that are single moms that are catching the bus to the church. There are so many situations and circumstances that there are ways that you can help. I just felt like when I thought about that church that it just saddened me to think that people were reduced to microwaves, reduced to TVs and pets.
But Mama Noise.
Listen, here's my belief on this, and y'all slap me if I'm wrong, because I don't mind it. I promise you I don't mind. You can't give niggas enough to help them. Help has to be a hand up.
Right.
Because if we don't figure out how to get you out of the predicament you're in, you're going to be back next week, next month for that help again.
But
There's
that's
not enough money in the community to help.
but
What the hell does help do? Help me this month.
because that's
What am
the
I going
game.
to do next month?
Because that's the game that's being played. Like I said, we're not going to give you the tools to heal yourself. We're going to give you the medicine to
What's
keep
the
you
tool to
just
heal?
well enough. Well,
What's the tool to heal?
So cuz do you think it would be beneficial if I had $75 million and I found this black dude, this Pastor Deacon, cuz noise nigga that I know, and say, hey, I'm gonna give you a budget every year, 3 mil. And what I want you to do with that 3 mil, I want you to go out to the community. I want you to go to middle school. I'm gonna start in middle school. I want you to start in middle school. I want you to put together a gentleman's program. As part of that program, you are responsible to grab so many of these kids twice a week. And we're gonna teach them about life. What life is, what life needs to be, what life needs to look like. How to be successful, how to be honorable young man going forward. And I want you to do that every year for the next 5 years, $3 million budget. Find the people that you need to help you build this program. I want you to do that. And we're gonna start early. We ain't gonna start in high school. I want to start middle school. When the hormones kick in. But I want you to put this program together. I want you to it's basically a mentorship. That's what $74 million to me, I think, is the benefit. I want to start teaching these kids. I want you to start teaching these kids. You saying that wouldn't help the community?
No, I absolutely am not saying that.
Okay.
What I am saying is that help in and of itself will reach a very small number of people.
But we got to start small. Can't start large.
Meaning, mentorship is important. Giving them life classes and teaching them is important. But if none of what they're learning from me or anyone else if it's not reinforced at home, it's going to fall on deaf ears for the vast majority of them.
Right. Which is go back to what Lloyd is saying about giving tools. So I gave you the tool to start with the kids. Okay, that same church can build other tools to, okay, let's go grab some of these single moms. Let's start building
or married moms.
Our married mom. Let's start putting in programs that really make sense. Programs that really are valuable. Not just a program you put on so you can be on TV to make everybody say, ooh, look what the hell they're doing. But start using that money back into community to build those right programs. We can't go on the school to do it. you can't count on the school to do it because the school's not going to do it. There's no money in the school to do it. There's no money in the government to do it. That $74 million should come from that church, that organization.
But
that
I contend, and I could be wrong, that there are a lot of programs in our communities now that attempt to do that, whether it's down there at the rec center or the what center or this center or that center. We have programs with grants from the government, from the state, whatever, that are there to
a lot of them
help.
are out there like you think it is. Here in Kentucky, hell, they're getting rid of the rec centers.
Well,
I know
of a lot of them here in the nonprofits that are here to help. The problem is you don't have an endless amount of money and the need is too great. Yes, I like you. I love your idea. I've never even thought of your idea like that. We're going to reach the kids on one end with this program, and then we're going to reach the parents on the other end to not allow what we're teaching the kids to fall on deaf ear. I like that idea. That's a great idea. The reality is there's no program, I believe, programs plural, that's going to replace the family unit that needs to be restored in the Black community.
But you got to build
Nothing
the
else is
family
going to
unit.
work.
But you got to build a family unit. You ninjas on this screen, minus another ninja with the pretty hats that came on her that ain't on her. You got to start small. It's the little stuff that helps us build.
You know, Ron, you sound like Jeff Bezos.
I wish I was Jeff Bezos.
That's what he said. That's what he did when he gave those multi-millions of dollars to what was his name, Lloyd? Van
Jones.
Van Jones. And there was this other chef that said he's trying to feed the world. And he said, okay, I'm going to give both of you like about $50 million. Fix the problem.
Yeah, and it's not you're never gonna fix the problem. You're never gonna fix the problem right away.
But I think we're all saying something that we're not really seeing I don't know if this is about it, that fixing the problem financially is the answer. Like even with Alicia saying, parenting classes, tutoring, budget, GED classes, job interviews. We do that now. There's tons of those. There are churches that are doing that. So I get what you're saying. But
you're not teaching family dynamics. Nowhere are we teaching family dynamics. Nowhere are we teaching boys to be men. Nowhere are we enforcing that. I can tell anybody interview. I can take the worst person you can find on the street, tell him how to do an interview, and get him a job. But what I didn't teach him, how to maintain that job.
And don't steal.
How they say some days, dude, your name is Tony on the street, but at job you might be Tyrone. Right. Nowhere are we teaching young boys stop hitting a girl on the ass in middle school.
In middle school.
This is how you talk to a young lady. This is how you talk to a young lady when you're school. This is how you talk to an adult. This is how you show respect. We don't teach life lessons, but we'll teach your ass algebra that you'll never use again.
Is that how you tell them, Ron?
I tell Marby, stop selling a girl on the ass, man.
Now, Lloyd, the little boys used to love to come give me hugs first thing in the morning. Lloyd said, I'm going to hit him in the throat.
I was doing it in Jesus' name, though. I wasn't.
No, he was saying.
I wasn't just hitting him in the throat for. It was in Jesus' name. I
agree what you're saying is we're not teaching life lessons. We're teaching survival. We got to start teaching life lessons, and that's where the money comes in. Is to find people who really want to teach kids life lessons so they can build the right family dynamic. Nobody teaching you what a family dynamic is. Nobody teaching you what a dad is, a mom is, what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to build it. That stuff is not taught anywhere. You hope you get it at home, but a lot of homes are broken.
I really believe, because based on what Ron said and just what my personal feelings have always been about this subject, just like Sean is saying, if you took 50 black families in 50 different states, I'm just throwing out a number just for conversation purposes, and we took whatever money we could in those particular areas and said for the next year we're going to mentor these families in what it means to have a stable, functioning, successful Black home. Whatever we define that to be. Maybe at the end of that year, and we turn them loose and help them fix their credit and help them fix the family dynamic and help them heal broken places and the whole nine. Okay, so maybe in that next year, after that 50, maybe the success rate is only 90%. But in that 90% or even 75%, isn't that worth it to be able to invest that kind of money to say, okay, this family now will go and function, and our only caveat is to pay it forward. We got to start somewhere. We can't just say it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. Something's gonna work.
Ain't that what Jesus did?
I mean, listen, and there, you know,
I'll about your Jesus, cuz.
From what Ron just said is that same Jesus is where we saying all these things that was teaching kids how to be parents and this and that. All of that was supposed to start at home, and home be inspired by the Word of God in how to be a parent, in how to be a good person. And dare I say, my mom wouldn't be a homeowner today if it wasn't for the first-time homeowner program that they had out. Well, I mean, plus she was a military person, so she got the GI Bill. But other than, I mean, the grant for military people. But still, just that first-time homeowners grant, some people don't even know that program exists. But if somebody tell them or help them, I'm sure that they'd learn how to be a homeowner or how to get their things in order to make that happen instead of it being such a dream. The type of stuff that Jay was telling us last week about, man, in order to purchase property and things like that. Okay, not nobody, but that's not a conversation that just anybody has. That's a conversation somebody saying, hey, man, I've always wanted to do that, but I never had anybody show me how it's done. And when I was a kid, there was all kinds of programs out that in the summer months to teach kids how to. I'm not really sure that there's a lot of that going on, or else I'm just in the wrong area or something.
Go ahead, cuz.
No, I agree with Ron. I don't disagree. I agree with Mr. Noiz.
And then you go give us the deep sigh.
Because I don't ever want us to get it, in my opinion, to get it twisted to where we believe we can program our way, mentor our way, volunteer our way out of our brokenness in our families. Church needs to be preaching and teaching family.
Right.
Instead of ending every message on he rose on the third day, they need to be saying, niggas, take your ass back home to your family. If we can drill that message home to our men, only then can the brokenness that exists, which is really a sin-based brokenness, that's the whole truth, nothing but the truth. We are falling short of God's intention for our families.
And agree with you. I'm just saying, and I think we're saying the same thing. What I'm saying is it doesn't work with the current model today. And that model being you're going to hear it in the church. We have to adapt. We have to adapt and we have to change.
I agree.
So if the church is not going to change, maybe it is the mentorship and, uncle pastors, cousin, nephews like you that are out here telling these niggas to take their asses home. Sometimes the people you hope you're gonna get the message from is never gonna do the message, and it's the guy out of nowhere that delivers you that message that made you change your damn mind on what you need to do.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
Because we are not seeing it out of that big building with that cross on top.
Boy, this show is not the one y'all thought y'all was getting in it.
I just came on to learn.
No, it's good. It's good because I'm telling you, man.
Hush, Kyrie. I just came on to learn.
These are the conversations that people are afraid to have, and I love having them because I think they're helpful. I think they push people to places that may wildly be uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, this is completely off the subject, but it fits exactly what we're talking about. In every sports show this morning I was watching, they were all talking about, is Aaron Rodgers really a great quarterback? Because technically he ain't done ish in the playoffs ever, and he has only won one Super Bowl. But we celebrate him like he's doing something really great. I feel the same way about Aaron Rodgers as I feel about the black church. We celebrate him like he's doing. We celebrate it sometimes like it's this great entity, but really, when you scale back what it's actually done, it ain't never won a playoff game.
Well, we celebrate all quarterbacks like they are the greatest.
But do you understand what I'm saying? Like we celebrate it like, oh, it's this wonderful and it's so effective and it's this, that, and the other. But then when you really look at what it's doing, what is it really doing?
He can throw a Hail Mary.
But when you start right, and because it that's the problem, Ron, because it looks like it's making great plays, and it looks like it's winning games, and it looks like it's successful, we call it successful. But anybody that questions that success, we're wrong.
He's a bad man, according to that.
I believe what the white folks set up for bad, the black church turned it for good to black people.
I believe that.
Without the black church, I believe, I could be wrong, there's 4 left shoes, our suicide rate would have been much higher. Our murder rates would have been much higher. It was the hope that we got in the black church that sustained us, y'all. We can never take that away from the black church.
And historically, you are
right. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to take that away from the historical black church.
Okay.
But the church has evolved over time, right?
Right.
We haven't. The black
I would disagree that the church has evolved. I would say the model has shifted to something that is not as effective as the old model was. I think the old model was far more intentional and, dare I even say, pure than what the current model is. And therein lies the problem. The relationship with what the black church has to the community is vastly different now than what it was.
Well, the black church of history had a mission, and that was to free black people. The black church of today, the mission is foggy at best.
So is it a bad marriage?
Mission.
So
we don't have not a unified mission at all.
No.
Right.
So I ask the question again: is it a bad marriage?
It's been a bad marriage.
We say we say we try to save souls, and we don't know if we're saving souls. We don't know what we're doing. These folks. We need to have a concerted effort to restore the black family, and the black church could go a long ways in doing that.
But you got to change the black church to get that hope back. Which one's harder to change? Because now you're messing with a corporation and its money. Is it harder to change the black church, or is it harder to change black families? It's easy to tell a nigga go home.
Well, the black church is made up of the brokenness of the black family. That's really what it's made up of.
Yeah, but
You
which
don't
one's
have
easier?
a lot of. You don't have a lot of husband and wives going to church. There's a percentage, but it's not a great percentage of a husband and wife that's going to church every Sunday together. Some husband and wives are so bold they go to different churches.
Yeah.
That always was
That makes
mind-boggling.
Yeah, that's very mind-boggling, but it happens.
Well, his
But
other girlfriend might
husband
be
and
his
wife
other
going to church together, not as often as you think. He may show up 1 or 2 Sundays with her, but most of the time she's by herself.
So it's Easter Sunday, and what's the other Sunday?
Mother's Day and Christmas.
Well, there you go. So 3
Not
times a
Christmas.
year.
Is it Christmas? Not really Christmas. I would say it's Mother's Day, Easter, and there's 3 of them.
It does include Christmas.
But I don't know if Christmas is as popular as it used to be.
Well, that's where it started, though, with those.
It was Christmas, Mother's Day, Easter, but I don't think Christmas is as popular like that no more.
Well,
I would say it's just Mother's Day and Easter.
Well, now you're trying to modify the.
I'm just saying the Christmas numbers are down.
You're trying to edit it so that it be more current.
I'm saying the Christmas numbers are down tremendously.
Well, that's because they're not doing the memorizing.
Right? Anybody give Easter Christmas speeches no more?
Yeah, the Christmas plays and hark the herald angels sing.
That ain't a thing no more.
Man, I love come out here and learn about church from you guys, man.
Listen, man, I'm a realist. I'm gonna tell it like it is. I ain't gonna tell it like y'all want me to tell it. I'm gonna tell it like it is, and we gotta tell the truth. It's a flawed entity right now. The Jesus is. I always say it like this: Jesus is cool, but his representatives are sometimes trash.
One of the things the Black church is doing now, if you would allow me to say this,
speak on it.
We have this social justice ministry in the Black church now. Well, the Black church is fighting the social ills with police brutality, payday loans, red zoning, the plight of the Black community itself. Mm-hmm. A lot of churches are getting on board with that. Voting rights. The Black churches, a lot of them are fighting that.
Yes.
I don't think any of them is fighting. All of that is external. We can solve our own internal with our family units. And I don't know of one Black church that's fighting that as their mission to build the Black family. No. They're fighting the white man downtown, but they're not fighting the Black man in the hood.
Well, listen, this escalated quickly. I'm not gonna.
Hey, I mean, he's not wrong. He's 100% correct.
Not wrong. Not wrong at all.
No, it's not a reason why they can't do both at the same time.
Because we don't have $74 million. Oh my goodness! All right, y'all.
If you do it right, you can get the $74 million because you fix the home. You can actually put that money against and create your own PACs.
Yeah. A late entry for tomorrow's show. Actually, I think we might just part 2 this one and then add the new video to tomorrow's show. Does that sound all right with everybody? Like we're doing What the Hell the Wednesday, but we're gonna add in the new video and we'll make it work. Just come tomorrow. We're gonna have a good time. Y'all know we're gonna have a good time. Good discussion, transformative discussion. Tomorrow evening, we will do the 5, and man, we've had breaking news since we've been on this show. We talked about the changing of the guards on the field, but there's some changing of the guards off the field that's going on. And one in particular just went down a few minutes ago that may affect Big D.
Oh yeah.
There may be a reason why your head coach, cuz still got a job for the next 5 minutes, but he can't get the endorsement of his general manager or his owner because of what just went down today. And I'll break the news because it ain't, by the time we get on the show tomorrow, everybody will know. But Sean Payton just stepped down from the New Orleans Saints.
He's coming to Dallas.
Why would you think that he would do that, people?
He's coming to Dallas.
He might be coming to Dallas.
Only if he gets full control, meaning he's
now right, and that's gonna be the X factor. Can he get what he needs to be successful in Dallas? So we will definitely be talking about that tomorrow on the 5.
Well,
so it's gonna be a fun day tomorrow.
He waited just another week. That other guy out of Green Bay is gonna leave Green Bay. He could have got him a quarterback down in New Orleans and stayed where he was at.
I got news for you. He still may get a quarterback wherever he go.
I tell you one thing, Sean Payton's a damn good coach.
He is a phenomenal coach.
But will they allow him to be the phenomenal coach?
I'm gonna say this. There are 7 teams right now. Is it 7 teams right now that are looking for a head coach? None of them have selected technically their head coach yet. All of them paused their head coaching searches 10 minutes ago.
Yep.
They're at least gonna make the call. Now they may not get him. He may only be going one place or 2 places. I think he's either going home or Dallas.
LA or Dallas.
LA what?
You mean Vegas?
Vegas.
Oh,
yeah.
Raiders?
Oh, okay.
Vegas or Dallas.
Yeah, that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a possibility too. But everybody, whether they thought they could get him or not, they all paused. They all hit the pause button and said, wait a minute. Remember that guy we thought we wanted? I just heard Sean Payton's available. Sean, what you doing? Ring. So interesting, very interesting stuff. So we'll get into that tomorrow deeper on the 5. And along with some other things, along with a lot of other things, really. Mama Noise, we got anything we need to remind the people of? We good?
No, we do need them to subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes. So go to Talkin NOIZ. The YouTube channel is
Talkin NOIZ Daily Podcast.
Daily Podcast. That's what it is. So,
that filters out everything else and specifically pulls up Talkin NOIZ Daily Podcast.
I should have put YouTube. I'm sorry.
I think the last one, as long as you added, even just putting Noisemaker on there, a lot of people, it was a lot of noise somethings on YouTube. So with Talkin NOIZ Daily Podcast, it's much more more clear.
Yeah. All right, I got nothing else to give people today, man. Cuz always a joy. Ron, always a joy. Mama Noise, you know what it is, girl. Hey, boo. I like seeing that smile. I really do. That smile does everything for me. All right. That's it, y'all. We out. Peace.